What if things don't end up like they're supposed to? What if this work, this energy I've invested doesn't pay off? What if I stay average? What if my story was never meant to be unique? What if I try and I fail? What if my friends stop calling? What if I let my family down? What if people don't like what I have to say? What if my idea is a little too out there? What if I'm pushing things too far, too quickly? What if the worst possible scenario happens? What if I lose everything? What if success is for someone else? What if I'm meant to work, to pay bills, and to sleep? What if the starting role is just too much for me? What if I was a born follower? What if I never find happiness? What if I don't choose the right path? What if I get lost? What if I can never be as good as the person standing next to me? What if a life of meaning will always be something I'll have to stare up at, wishing, dreaming? Or what if I just change the way I look at the world? What if today is just the beginning? What if I decide who I'm going to be and become it? What if my actions can create a ripple effect that will transcend space and time? What if impossible isn't fact? What if it's opinion? And what if I don't buy it? What if this new world means that existence starts with me? What if I can be the one people look up to? What if my past got me here but has no effect on where I can go? What if every single day is a fresh start? What if I can be the one who defies the odds? What if my dreams become the standard? What if my ideas change how people see reality? What if the term difficult is nothing more than a cop-out? What if my doubters ignite the flame that is my success? What if my fear of mediocrity overcomes my fear of the unknown? What if second place is no longer an option? What if I make the choice to live every second of my life like it's a miracle? And what if that's exactly what every second is? What if it's time to start living like it? To start thinking like it? To never sell myself short? What if nothing good happens until I believe it? What if I stopped wasting my time trying to convince others? Because I am the only one who must be convinced.
Welcome to the Awakening Podcast. My name is Collins.
And my name is Jacqueline.
Good morning, and welcome to the Awakening Podcast with me, Collins, and Jacqueline. Welcome, Jacqueline.
Good morning. Good morning. It is a good morning.
Great to see you.
Good to
You're
see
looking
you always and every day. Yeah. So, wow, that was really powerful. What did you feel about that?
Yeah, very, very powerful, like very motivational. Yeah.
You know, and that kind of opens us up or segues us into our topic today. You want to tell us what our topic is?
Well, we're going to do I am that I am, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of a part 2 from last week.
Right.
I am that I am. And so, you know, as we listen to the what if, I don't know if I love listening to that because there's a shift that happens. You know, the first view, the first what if view is the external view that we take on, right? It's all those programs like I can't do it. I shouldn't do it. I'm not good enough to do it. I've got too much pain to do it. I can't rise above. And you can feel what I wanted everyone to try to do as an exercise is to feel the feelings that were inside when all of those negative what if programs were being made, versus what did you feel like when the second view, which now is that inner view where you no longer look at the programs, the external programs that you were given, your doubts, your disbeliefs, your fears, your lack and scarcity, all of those less than, and you make that shift into that rising. Did you feel the difference? I mean, I saw you kind of in the beginning, your head was down, you were just like, but when the second vision came,
right,
you kind of stood up, you sat up, and I could feel the energy coming inside of you, and it was kind of enlivening you, and you were awakening, and you were like, okay, let me meet this podcast, with high energy. So, right?
Yeah. These motivational, it's really important to keep in that motivational mindset, because it's really easy to get latched on to other mindsets that are going to spiral you into other directions. And so we're walking in a very narrow path right now, I would say, as far as just staying. I think everyone knows the activities that get them excited and motivated and give them purpose. And we just got to keep coming back to those activities with fresh eyes and say, these are the things I like to do.
Well, isn't that really what the narrow way is really all about? When we start coming to that position where we see the sign that says the crossing, okay, and we look across that chasm and we realize there's this bridge that we've got to walk across to get to the other side, to get to the promised land, okay, to get to the dream manifest. That bridge, only one person walks across that bridge. So I walk across that bridge alone. I can't take my party with me, and the only way that I'm walking across that bridge is if I have come to the place where so I have realized that I control my what if. And this kind of segues us into the conversation of I am, I think it's what Exodus 3, where God tells Moses who he is. And because we are created in the image and the likeness of God, I am that image. I am the spark of the creator. So when I take control of my what if, and I even go a step further from the what if positive view, which is that internal view that begins saying, you know what? I'm the master of my thoughts. I control my what if. And now what I want to do is flip my what if positive statement. Like, what if I am the creator? What if the thoughts that I have do actually create my reality? Then what if I start walking or stepping into that role as master creator and begin thinking those thoughts as though they already are, instead of saying what if? Now I am actually walking in the consciousness of I am, not what if anymore, but I am. So this is what this program is all about. It is about the awakening. And what does the awakening mean? What is the purpose of awakening? And that awakening, what that means is we're moving from that external identification that we believe that we are, to that inner realization that I am not my external programs, but that I am the master of my internal creations, my mind, my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And we begin to realize that there is a consciousness position as the creator, that we begin accepting responsibility of being a creator and taking control of our I am statements.
Yeah. And also looking at the if there's that I am a failure, I am a disgrace to my family, I am all that, those monkey mind things that jump in, you have to grab them and look really hard into them and see what they are.
That's
and
the facing of the beast, right?
Face them down.
Yeah, face them down.
Face them down.
And then say, you're a lie. Okay. You are not. You're the simulation. You're the program. And I don't have to.
It could be a relative that said something to you 20 years ago, and that person's long gone. You'll never see him again. But that voice still speaks to you.
Yes.
Because
and these are all the programs. These are the teacher was mean to you.
Exactly. The teacher,
students were you were bullied.
Right.
And we all have them. It's not, I used to think, oh my gosh, I'm the only one on the face of the planet that's been through, these terrible things. No, that's another lie. We're all in this together. We all live on a planet that was designed for us to adventure out into the big bad world, right? To take that adventure through the jungle and to transform that jungle into paradise. So we're in a planet that is in the valley of the shadow of death. That's just the reality of it. And we got to face down that reality and know that we were given the power, the tools to take dominion of all those beasts that come on us. In fact, once you face them all, you begin realizing they're just that. They're shadows. They're ghosts. They're not even real.
You're not going to, somebody told me this the other day. You know when the truth wins? When it shows up.
There's so many simple things that if we would just quiet down, relax a little bit, the simplicity of truth will just come upon us. And really, this is what this event that's taking place, the corona, we are being crowned. We're actually going through that narrow way. We've been pulled off the streets. We've been pulled behind the mask. We've been called to go inside. That's the global calling. That's the awakening. That's the global awakening. That's the ascension. The purpose of awakening is ascension. Ascension is rising above the lower vibrational frequencies of pain and suffering so that you can begin to have a vision of a world where there is no more tears. There is no more separation. There's no more goodbye. There's no such thing as goodbye. We're eternal, immortal beings, and we're always connected to the pure light and love of source. And it's only in the illusion, only in the programs that we've been cast into this simulation where we believe that fear is a reality.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the choice is yours. The choice about going farther into that fear reality is your choice. And there are resources out there to expose that fear and to face it down. And it's a choice everyone has to make, a personal choice.
And we're told that fear is the opposite of love. Not that, I mean, literally, fear closes the door and disallows any blessing to come to you. If you have a spirit of fear, you're isolated. Forget this isolation. Fear already did that. This pandemic of fear, this psychological terrorism is just the projection of a whole planet that has lived behind the mask with the smile on, when all the time there is tremendous fear within. That fear within now is vomiting outside. Because if you truly believe in the mechanics of creation, the external reality is just a projection of what is within. So this is a time of crossing. So I want to go back to, because I really want to try to get through the I am that I am. And let's see if we can, first of all, that is the most powerful beginning that we can have, is to step your consciousness into that statement. I am. And I want to go through who is that I, that the I am is, that is moving towards that which the I am wishes to be. Now, I think we've only got 40 seconds here into, so let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us on the Awakening Podcast. We'll see you soon.
Estás escuchando Úsala, tu voz. Desde Filadelfia para el mundo. Desde Filadelfia para el mundo.
Great. Welcome back to the Awakening Podcast. Again, this is Collins and Jacqueline, and we're discussing I am that I am, the really powerful statement of intention.
Remember, we're going back to realizing I am a creator. That's the awakening. So and let me just do a quick exercise so that we can have an experience of the I that I'm speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say that, you're laying down on your back, on a yoga mat or on your bed or whatever. And we're and I'm going to run through this really quickly. We're not going to do it, but I'm going to just kind of give you a quick glimpse of this I. Okay. And so we take our mind, which I have the ability to control where my mind focuses. And I take my mind and I place my mind or my consciousness, my thoughts on my feet, right? And I look at my feet and I ask myself, am I my feet? I am not my feet. So then we can keep walking up, to your legs, your hips, your stomach, your chest, your arms, your fingers, your face, your nose, your eyes, your hair, whatever that is. You take your mind and place your mind's eye onto any part of your vehicle, the door, the tires, and I am inside of this vessel, looking at this vessel, but the I that is focusing or placing attention upon is not the actual vessel itself. I am not my feet. I'm not my physical body. So that's where that I is. And as you begin to be aware of the I that is observing, that is the I am. And that is the creator self, capital S, self, that controls the what if and turns that what if into the I am. So the I, we said this last week, that is stripped of, and just do this while we're sitting here, stripped of I am, stripped of my title. I'm stripped of my name. I am stripped of my heritage. I'm stripped of my culture, my education, my financials, my car, my clothes, my society, my politics, my religion, my relationship. I'm stripped of all of those things that maybe in the past humans believed that they were those things. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a friend. The I that I am speaking of, that you and I are conveying in this podcast series, that we're talking about the awakening, is the self that awakens beyond all of those externals. Now, in the beginning, that might seem daunting, but as you awaken in the infancy of recognizing that I, this is the I am that begins to be the creator. And what I'm saying is that if you want a different life, you have the power, if you will accept taking the steps that we were given to be the creator.
That's right. That's right.
So I am, I recognize now who I am as the capital S, the God within. And I step into the position of taking responsibility. In other words, I can't look at anybody else to create what I desire in my heart, because I am unique and no one knows what my heart wants to desire or is desiring or does desire. And so the I am envisions the that it wishes to be. And you move in your imagination, in your definition of, in your what if I am that? What if I am that? Well, wait a minute, I am that. So you move into that I am, that thing that I wish to be. And then saying that I am again is saying that in confidence. Who is doing the asking? Okay, you move into that, and you've come to realize who the I am is that's doing the asking. That's the position you must get into to be a creator. You don't look at, well, woe is me, my bank account, I can't pay my bills, my relationship, my partner is really the worst ever, and I'm really miserable. I don't have the job that I want. Everything is going wrong. I'm in terrible grief. I'm depressed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overcome, and I don't know what to do. This is the position that when you enter into that state of mind as the creator, you will get a glimpse of that transcendent self that has the absolute power to rise above all externals and create the life of your dream.
Right. Beautiful. And I'm going to say, honestly, just because of, I don't know, decades of being stuck in the external and having all this external stimulation that I think we accept as reality, you know, we have very little time when we're actually being our creative selves. So stepping into that role is I think for most people very uncomfortable, you know, because it's not where we normally are. we're normally responding and consuming and doing it all in the name of, okay, well, I have to do this to get this, to get this transactional thing, to whatever, right? To signal to somebody else, to get my education, to be whatever, right? And very rarely do we step into a role where we can step into that and say, I am a creator and I'm doing this to channel my creativity into my reality, to create something. And it's my personal expression, and I can't judge it from a point of like external affirmation, you know, money or whatever. So
in other words, and this is very beautifully said, Collins, and this is the crossroads that we are on, that we are at. This is the crossroads where humans are at this position now, where we have awakened enough to see that the I, this transcendent I, the true self, the creator I, I think there's many of us that believe this now. In other words, many people are awakening to this state of mind, to this attitude, this state of attitude of recognizing that there is this spiritual eye that sees something that the physical eye does not see. However, we are also in that position, just like what you described beautifully, is we are babies in this. And so we have this one side and the other side, we have this dark side that is still a program, and the conditions all around go against what this transcendent self says this new reality is. And this is now in the practice. When you first go to college, you do not know what you have set out to find out. What you are the first day of college, and you went through the work to get through all the, I don't want to leave home, I'm uncertain about going off on my own. Oh, I've had a boyfriend for how long and I can't leave him or her. Oh my gosh, I've never taken care of myself. But you overcame that, and you stepped foot in that classroom that first day of college, and you made it there. And your vision to get a degree in the art of what you chose to be is going to sustain you all the way through that educational process, or that practice, or that study, where you glean the knowledge to become that thing you wanted to become at the end of that creation cycle. It's the same thing. We are infants in this. We are awakening, but it's a very frustrating time. It's like that baby that he knows that mama and daddy and everybody else can walk. I want to walk. I really want to walk, but dang it, my legs, my brain is just not, it's just not wrapped around yet this ability to walk. And this is where we are. But what I'm telling you is that the shift is a power shift. You gotta strengthen it up. You gotta work those muscles, and you gotta keep going. I am that. I am that. I don't care what my bank account says. I don't care what my relationships that are trying to hold me down and tell me that I am not that. I don't care what my own internal programs are that are not just from this lifetime, but they're hereditary. Science is now telling us that we are 25% our parent, 25% our father, 25% our mother, and 50% my own self. And yet my mother and my father speak so loudly to that self that I don't know yet. My mother and father know each other. Their parents lived a whole lifetime and died. So they've got memory saying what I am supposed to be, or what their children were supposed to be. Their children took it on, which is my parents. They believed that they were the program that their parents believed, that their parents believed. And now here I am waking up in this appointed time during this mechanics of creation, unto awakening, unto ascension, trying to find that 50% of who I am and make that 100% of who I am.
Right. Yep. And that's what we have to do. And that's, so it's really hard to say, to take that leadership role, you know, because it really is, you're leading yourself and you're healing yourself and you're healing maybe your younger self, maybe your past self, you know, but it's you, only you can do it. That's the thing. It's like,
well, and the word healing, you're so good, because we really do good. You bring up the points that are really accurate, and I thank you for that, Collins, because the healing is now, we can awaken and get that glimpse, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to the altar and saying, "Oh, Jesus, you know, come into my heart," and I thought there was this miracle that I was going to get up from the altar and be this, I don't have any of the addictive personality. I don't have the monster under my bed. I'm pure and perfect. And it didn't happen. And I was heartbroken. And I can remember trying to keep going down to do that, you know, to get this cleansing, and that never happened. So here I am, fast forward. That cleansing happens because I do the cleansing. I do the healing. I face my feelings. I go inside and I'm honest with the way I feel. Mm-hmm. And then I ask myself, is that feeling related to something that I've done right now, recently, in the day, yesterday, last week? Or is that feeling coming from somewhere in my childhood? Or maybe I can't even see where the feeling is coming from, which tells me it's not even from this lifetime. I've got past life karmic patterns that are very strong. And so what the globe is doing is healing. Mm-hmm. And all of these external things going on are those demons that are coming out. And we now are being called to ask, how am I going to respond to that? How am I going to respond to this exacerbated sense of being out of control, and that the world is out of control, that I don't have control of my retirement, and I don't have control of how my children are responding to this psychological separation, and I have no control. And there's only one way to get the control, and that is to go inside, face these demons, do the healing, and become the I am. Stand up in it and receive the power of I am, and I am that I choose to be. I am the creator of my I am.
Well, great. And we'll just take another break here. We'll be right back. The Awakening Podcast.
Thank you. Namaste.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Awakening Podcast. Collins and Jacqueline here, and we're coming into our final segment around the I am that I am. And we've been having a very interesting conversation exposing how to step into that role as a creator and as somebody who can get into the position of manifestation rather than being in the position of being somebody that responds and somebody that's, for lack of a better word, I know it's kind of being overused, but kind of like victim, because we're a victim of our circumstances, a victim of our past, of, wherever we came from. We're having to, do things because we got put here to have these challenges to overcome. So stepping into a role as a creator, doesn't mean we're stopping doing the things that we've taken responsibility to do, but it also means that we're stepping into that creator role more and more.
Well, and that takes us to that multidimensionality, to the multidimensional beingness that we are. And this is another learning. We're learning how to walk. We're learning how to maneuver within our inner standing.
Mm-hmm.
We're learning how to have the inner standing as our prime state of reality. And yet we're walking externally and doing things that maybe have not yet harmonized with our inner standing. And I know that feels uncomfortable. You use the word uncomfortable, and it does feel uncomfortable. But anytime we take on a new activity, or we learn something new, or we go to a new place, or we meet new people, there is that place of uncomfort. So we've got to learn how to feel comfortable in being uncomfortable. It's okay to feel what you feel. In fact, sit into it, lean into it, learn how to put a name on the feeling. And then when you put the name on the feeling, but I am not that. So I want to go through this I am role again. Okay. Who is doing the asking? I am. I am the one searching. I am the one seeking. I am discovering through the contrasts that have been presented to me lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I have come to a place where I know that I do not want that, but I want this. So who is asking? I am, as creator, as master of my thoughts, master of my mind, knowing that my thoughts create. I am the one asking. What are you asking for? What am I asking for? What am I asking for? I can't create anything, nothing, until I know what it is I'm asking for, or the desire that I have to move from this inner knowing to create the external manifestation of it. So what am I asking for? What am I asking for? I am asking for a better financial position. I'm asking for that relationship that I have always dreamed of. I am asking for the career that has been the desire of my heart since I was a child. I'm asking. You've got to position yourself and get comfortable in the asking, and know that when you begin to ask, you're moving towards creating that thing that you want. So I am that. I am. You've got to put your personal spin. You've got to know your personal heart. You've got to know the image that you were created to be, to decipher and put the definition on the that. Because remember, you've got to move towards the that in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that, when God says, I am that, I am, that means there is nothing that God is not. He is the that of all that's. You name it.
Mm-hmm.
A blade of grass. God says, I am that. I think my camera is freezing. Can you still hear me, Collins?
Yeah, I see you. Okay.
Name a waterfall, name a cloud, name an atom, God says, I am that. Well, I have that same power to claim that which I desire to be. So what are you asking for? Well, I'm asking for that. Put words on that. Vision board that. You'll find that every successful person out there will tell you that they had a vision.
Yep.
Are you confident in that which you are asking for? Now you're not only asking for it, but now you have stepped into the second position of believing that I am that which I am believing for. Are you confident? My answer is, I am confident. I am confident. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care what my refrigerator looks like, my clothes closet looks like. I don't care what my bank statement says. I don't care what somebody just called me as I was walking down the street because I blah, blah, blah. I don't care, because I am confident that that which I sustain as that which I desire will manifest. Are you sure? Are you sure? I am. And are you that which you desire to be? I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, this is the my camera is on a glitch. Got to get that.
Yeah, you might want to shut any programs you have open on your computer.
So do you see how before there can be any creation externally, you've got to have that movement going on mentally.
Right. Yeah, because like I think that there's a expectation just due to the way that people interact with the world. Like, you're walking down the street, if you open the door, you can walk through the door. But this step that we're taking is that we can walk down the street in our mind and open the door with our mind, and it's a projection technique. So it's going ahead of the actual action. And I think that that's sometimes unclear to people, because most people don't do that. Most people just walk down the street, open the door, go in the place, buy the stuff.
It is the act of learning how to be mindful.
Right.
Really, all reality is mind. That's the number one Hermetic principle, is all is mind.
Right.
That this whole world first existed in mind.
Right.
And that the word came out of the contemplation, and the word spoken became the manifest form of the wave of the word. And so we are awakening to realize that I also have the same power to use the word, which is my thinking, to manifest externally what it is I'm thinking, knowing that I am first mind and second external. We have it flipped. And this is the real difficulty, is flipping the awareness, the understanding that I am first my mind and second my external. And that, just doing that, is a real hard work. It really is. I'm not saying it's easy. It is very, very hard, because we've lived in a physical, material reality, and we've forgotten this is just temporal. This is just the dream of the thoughts that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten down here and I've forgotten that I can still take that dream. I can still take the power of my mind and shift around the simulation going on externally.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think that the reinforcement is given on every level to strengthen the external reality of just kind of patching people together, whether it's educationally, legally, medically, and just keep them walking down that external path instead of kind of doing the harder work, which is what we really came here to do, which is coming here and doing that healing and doing that projection and being those creators, you know.
It's why we're here.
Right.
This is the season. This is the lifetime that was talked about. A generation will not pass away until the new is seen. We're in that generation, and we came here to finalize, to harmonize the dark into the light and become the creators of the new world. There is a new world coming. It's already here inside. I already walk in that new world. We don't know when exactly that new world is going to drop into external form, but it will, because I know that it drops externally with me all the time. I can think of something as though it is. I think of the unseen as though it's more real than the seen, and have belief and total confident faith that which is unseen inside of me is going to be seen outside of me. These kinds of manifestations happen to me every day. And the more that you come in and pull in and connect, you plug that, you know that you can't turn a light on until you plug it into the electrical socket.
Right.
We got to plug into source energy. Right now we're plugged in to the matrix.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many, exactly. And I know we wanted to do this in a show at some point, and I think it's been incredibly powerful for me. Like I said, I think I would mention this in the last show that, you know, I had a cleaning job in Philadelphia, and I got kind of ill and I couldn't breathe, and I was wearing all these masks, and this is like 10 years ago. And I had to that's what took me into yoga, because I was so short of breath and I couldn't breathe, and I didn't do any breathing exercises, and I was having all these medical conditions around that. So breathing is so important, you know, and learning how to breathe and understanding how that fits into your life. And then it will connect into food. It will connect into the way you consume information, food, you know, all these things are very connected. So love to get into that in a future episode, but
so I'm putting you on the schedule. Give me a date now. The breatharian talk.
The breath, yeah, well, not quite. We'll get a real breatharian on. I'm not quite there yet.
Okay. And so, you know, we keep talking about the same thing, but I think it's important that we do, because this is not an event. It's not a practice. It's not a state of beingness where even I've worked and walked, tried, studied, practiced, prayed for so many years to get to this point, and it's still a work every day. I still must be mindful every day to flip from the external as my source of reality to no, this. Mm-hmm. My inner kingdom is my first line of reality. It's the source of my energy. And when I tap into that source energy, my vibration rises, and I let go of the fear, because I'm not frightened of death, dying, suffering, pain. because that's an external illusion that's been placed over this dome of reality to make us, to suck us into the simulation. And we are humans. Many humans are walking robots, just walking through the program, being like a puppet on a string. And we are cutting our strings. But I have to do that. I have to do that constantly. I have to constantly be mindful. So Collins, here we are once again.
Thank you. This has been a wonderful, went so quickly, beautiful hour. Thanks again, Jacqueline, for sharing this with me. And we will see everybody back next week on the Awakening Podcast. And let's just close with namaste.
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 I am that.
I am.
I am.
Great. Thanks everybody. And look forward to seeing you next week.